In Focus is brought to you by WorldArmWrestlingFederation.com, the only place to watch the 2011 World Arm Wrestling Championships live. Check out everything you need to know right here at www.worldarmwrestlingfederation.com. By Design Embroidery and Screen Print offers you t-shirts, polos, sweatshirts, hoodies, toques, and team uniforms. Have all your clothing needs by Design. Contact By Design Embroidery and Screen Print by emailing screenprint@bydesign.ca.
Hi there and welcome to the program. I'm Scott McGinnis of Armsport Videos, and this is In Focus. We've decided to change the direction of the In Focus interviews a bit, and we hope the new format will be just as successful as the old one. With that being said, let's get started. I want to start the show with our feature photo. This pic features Edward Bork of Grand Digue, New Brunswick, and will be featured at various times throughout the show. It was taken at the 2002 Atlantic Canadian Arm Wrestling Championships on April 13th, 2002. The tournament took place at PAL Sports Bar in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada. I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty nice looking arm. Makes me jealous, Ed. If you have a photo that you think would be a great feature photo, send it to us at scottmcginnis@hfx.eastlink.ca. Okay, now let's take a look at the latest rankings. First, we're going to look at the World of Arm Wrestling Top 10 Men's and Women's Right Hand Rankings as compiled by Engin Terzi, and then we'll have a look at the In the Hook Top 10 North American Right and Left Hand Men's Rankings as compiled by Eric Roussin. Okay, that's a quick look at the rankings. If you want to check out the complete rundown of all the rankings, you can check out worldofarmwrestling.com or inthehook.com, and both sites have great rankings. It'll be interesting to see how much the rankings will change after the results of the upcoming Worlds in Kazakhstan are revealed. Stay tuned for that. Okay, what else is happening? Okay, yeah. I would like to give a shout out to Matt Chop Bertrand and Desra Bertrand on the recent marriage. Matt and Desra were married on November 5th, 2011. I hope the new couple are very happy and have a long life together. What else we got happening? Right, according to a post on the Northeast message board, world champion arm wrestler Ion Oncescu from Romania underwent surgery for acute appendicitis. The post goes on to say that he's feeling okay and the recovery is going well. We wish him all the best in his recovery. And, all right, also, I know it's still a few months away, but the recent information released about the A1 Russian Open World Arm Wrestling Grand Prix is very interesting. The tournament takes place next July 27th and 28th in Moscow. According to the website armwrestling24hours.com, the flyer also says that $113,000 is going to be up for grabs. Wow, can you imagine? For both men's and women's right hand and left hand classes, the payout is going to be $1,500 for first, $1,000 for second, and $700 for third. And then to top that off, the absolute weight class for both right and left hand men's classes is paying an astonishing $10,000 for first place. More complete information, check out armwrestling24.com. I can't wait till this unfolds. That's a tournament I would just love to be in attendance for. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I read earlier this week that Travis Bajan himself is already planning to attend this tournament. And who knows, maybe even John Brzezinski will be recovered by then, and he'll make an appearance as well. Okay, all right. Up next on the show, the World Championships in Kazakhstan are quickly approaching, and every year after the championships have concluded, there is all kinds of complaining, bitching, griping about the amount of elbow fouls, and generally about the amount of referee stoppages during the matches, right? Well, I got together with CAWF head referee and WAF referee panel member Rick Pinkney to ask him about this. Stay tuned, that's coming right up following this message from this episode's sponsors, and we'll be right back.
In Focus is brought to you by WorldArmWrestlingFederation.com, the only place to watch the 2011 World Arm Wrestling Championships live. Check out everything you need to know right here at www.worldarmwrestlingfederation.com. By Design Embroidery and Screen Print offers you t-shirts, polos, sweatshirts, hoodies, toques, and team uniforms. Have all your clothing needs by design. Contact By Design Embroidery and Screen Print by emailing screenprint@bydesign.ca.
Okay, we're back. As I stated before the break, the 2011 WAF World Arm Wrestling Championships are coming up soon in Kazakhstan. And every year I hear the same complaints, too many fouls. So I got together with CAWF head referee and WAF referee panel member, master referee Rick Pinkney, to discuss the issue. So check out the clip. Hi everybody, Scott McGinnis here. We're here at Armsport Video Studios, otherwise known as my garage. We were here doing another filming project for the CAWF, and so while I had him here, I thought I would nail him on a couple of issues that have come up lately. Rick Pinkney, president of Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling Association, and the head referee for the CAWF, and also one of the members of the referee panel for the WAF. Rick, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
Good. A couple of things have come up, and I'm sure you've probably heard about it too. We're just a couple of weeks away from the WAF Worlds, and you know there's always been a whole bunch of bitching about over half the matches being stopped on fouls, chintzy little elbow fouls. We don't get to see our wrestlers pull. As one of the top referees in the world, what can you tell the people out there?
Well, one of the problems we have is the elbow pads are so hard that every time somebody moves, they're hopping their elbow across the pad. Another problem is the fact that how much do you give them? You give them a quarter inch, you give them half an inch, how much are you going to do? You know, if you say, okay, we're going to give everybody a quarter of an inch, well, fine, we can give everybody a quarter of an inch. But then next thing, well, geez, you only come up a little bit more than a quarter of an inch. And everybody's quarter of an inch is discretion. So my quarter of an inch may be more than yours, may be less than yours. Another problem that we have is the fact that I lost my train of thought.
Okay, that's okay. While we're on the subject of elbows and quarter of an inches, a lot of people are going on about no advantage gained. So if there's a little tiny elbow bump and there's no advantage gained, should you let the match continue?
How do you no advantage gained? You hit me, my elbow comes up at half an inch, comes back down. I stopped your hit. It may not look like an advantage gained, but I just stopped your hit.
So in effect, you're saying that is an advantage.
That's a definite
because you
advantage.
popped the elbow to stop it.
How do I actually know if I actually stopped you because my elbow lifted up, or that my power stopped you?
Okay, we have to find a solution.
Yeah.
Somewhere we have to find a solution. Now, right now we have a Mazurenko arm wrestling table. Pretty damn good, sturdy table, don't you think?
Tables, yeah.
Great table. Goes together good. Has stood up very well. Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling has had this one since 2003.
Yep.
Yes. Now, the main complaint I have, not just with the Mazurenko tables, most of the tables that the CAWF is using, WAF is using, the elbow pads are too hard. Could this be as simple as changing the material and making this elbow pad softer?
I think that would help a lot, is the fact that if you can sink your elbow in, then you can move it across the pad. I've actually changed the padding in these pads to make them a little softer so you can actually sink your elbow in. That way when you're moving, you can actually move across the pad without getting a little hop. Sometimes what happens is the pads are so hard that when they move, they're just lifting them up just that little bit, and then it's just like moving your elbow across the piece of plywood.
Okay.
Any little bit, you're going to see it.
Okay, because you and I both go back to the days of the round cups or rings, whatever you want to call them.
The donuts, yeah.
The donuts, and they were far more forgiving on the elbows than these were.
Well, the one thing we used to have with the donuts is there was the bottom of the pad was 1 inch, and the elbow pad was the top of the pad was 2 inches. So you had an inch to fly around inside that donut. You know, your elbow didn't consider coming off until it cleared the top of the rim. So you had 1 full inch to keep lifting your elbow, moving it all the way around the elbow pad anywhere you want.
Okay, so tell the people out there, so why did we switch from the donuts to these? Do you remember?
They said it was a safety issue. People were getting hurt, not to mention guys with big forearms, they could just sit there and just rest all day because they run their forearm into the side of the donut and just rest there. And guys were getting hurt because people could just sit there forever, sitting there in the hook, and basically the matches were just getting boring too. Okay, and have you guys on the CAWF level with the master referees, that you guys there, and at the WAF level, have you guys discussed this problem at all? Or? We have talked about different ways of doing it. What it comes down to is a matter of manufacturing something that is actually going to pass through WAF too. Because you have to realize WAF's a big organization with a lot of countries that all vote, and people hate change, and whether you can convince somebody to put a rim around this that's going to be up a little bit higher, so you do have a 1/4 inch, you've got 1/2 inch to bounce your elbow around. You know, somebody's got to come up with a design for that and then get it passed through WAF. And what I want to tell people too is referees hate it as much as anybody, stopping a good match.
You know what? They sure don't seem to at times.
You know what?
I'm playing, hey, I'm just telling it like I see it. Sometimes they don't hate it at all.
I should say, I can speak for myself.
Okay.
I do not like stopping a match because the guy lifted his elbow off this much. But you know what? When I've got a video camera shooting over my shoulder and 2 guys are arm wrestling and we're at the World Championships and I don't call that elbow foul, that whole team is going to be screaming at me, calling me a bad referee. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. If I don't call it, there's everybody out there's got a video camera now, like yourself, and they're seeing that elbow foul that I'm not calling. Okay. So I don't know, folks, if you have any more questions about that, just email me through my website, armsportvideos.com. Okay, great. Thanks to Rick Pinkney for addressing some of these issues. If there was something else you would like to know, just send me an email at scottmcginnis@hfx.eastlink.ca, and I'll do what I can to get your questions and concerns answered. Also, as I said earlier, I will be attending the Worlds in Kazakhstan, and maybe, if I'm lucky, I can track down WAF head referee Leonard Harkless and convince him to take a few minutes to answer a few questions. Maybe, if I'm lucky. Okay, great. Up next is something I hope to make a regular feature on the show. I know many of you, like me, are huge fans of InTheHook.com. I don't know, but if you ask me, the guys from In The Hook and the Ottawa High Hookers are putting together some absolutely hilarious skits. In tonight's episode, the guys did an homage to Armsport videos and the slow motion replay. Now, before you watch these clips though, be advised they are intended for a mature audience. They are not intended for children and contain language that may be offensive to some viewers. So if you're fine with all that, go ahead and check out the clip.
Alright guys, just a quiet night here at the High Hooker headquarters in Ottawa. Had a guest stop in earlier, Mr. Dave Chappelle. He gave us some good ideas, but probably not going to use any of them. So we're just going to show you just a little regular old match here. Johnny and Matt are gonna rip it up. See if you guys like the match. Hey, Shawnee, I'll bet a quarter on Johnny.
Bet a quarter on Matt. Awesome practice it again, Matt. Good. Awesome. Yep.
That's a good match.
Very good.
There you go.
Awesome job, brother.
But the thing is, you guys probably, just like us here in Ottawa, love Armsport videos. And we've been a little bit inspired by the slow-mo capability that they bring to the game. Love it. Always makes it more interesting. You get to see exactly what's going down. So let's see that again in slow motion.
Okay, love it, love it, love it. I love the boys at InTheHook.com and the Ottawa High Hookers and the clips they do. I tell you what, I didn't know Devin had such fashion sense, or that John was such a dancer. Did you see those moves? Outstanding. Thanks, guys. I'm honored that you chose Armsport videos as the subject of one of your clips. Huge thanks to the In the Hook crew, Jerry and John Milne, and to the Ottawa High Hookers. Fantastic job, guys. I laugh my ass off every time I see that. Awesome. And on that note, let's take a break. Here are a few words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
In Focus is brought to you by WorldArmWrestlingFederation.com, the only place to watch the 2011 World Arm Wrestling Championships live. Check out everything you need to know right here at www.worldarmwrestlingfederation.com. By Design Embroidery and Screen Print offers you t-shirts, polos, sweatshirts, hoodies, toques, and team uniforms. Have all your clothing needs by design. Contact By Design Embroidery and Screen Print by emailing screenprint@bydesign.ca.
And we're back again. Another issue that has come up here in Canada was regarding the testing of referees at the Nationals every year, and also regarding master referees and their status. What I mean by their status is whether a master referee is remaining active and refereeing high-level events, or, you know what, check out the clip. I'll let Rick Pinckney answer a few of the questions about it. The other thing I want to bring up to you, there's been a change over the past year or two, I think.
It's been a few years.
It's been a few years, with quote-unquote retired masters referees. Okay, so as I understand it, if you've not been an active, quote-unquote active master referee, what happens to you?
We drop you down to the ranks of being retired, actually. We don't want to take away your master. That's something you earned. We don't want to take it away. So basically, it's kind of letting you go out gracefully.
Okay, and tell me what's an active master referee?
Somebody that's coming out all the time is keeping the high standard that we expect of a master referee.
Coming out to what?
Tournaments. You have to be out to major tournaments. We want you, if you're just refereeing the tournament, local exhibition tournament, or county fair, something like that, you know, where all you're getting is local referees, that's not being an active master referee. What we want to see you doing is refereeing, and we want to see quality refereeing out of everybody, myself included. If my refereeing drops, I'll get the same, you know, thing as anybody else. We want quality referees because we're the standard that everybody wants to achieve. I don't want to see somebody saying, a level 2 referee saying, well, I'm better than that master referee. We've got level 2 referees better than that. That's why, you know what? Here's the level that every master has to stay at. If you're not staying at that, then we have to drop you back.
Okay, and what happens if, I know for a fact that there's arm wrestlers out there that don't think all master referees are on an equal playing field. Some are better than others. Is there any procedures, testing procedures, any sort of grievances, anything?
I mean, if anybody has problems with a master referee, or any referee for that matter, they can send me emails, contact me any way you want, and I'll definitely look into it. I mean, we've had situations where we have had complaints about people, and I've got no choice of it. I have to look into it. And, you know, and that's the way it goes, you know. And if somebody isn't, then, you know, and if I get enough complaints about a referee, we're going to retest them. If that's for the people that I'm not seeing. Sometimes, you know what I mean? If I'm seeing somebody, if I'm seeing Scott McGinnis up there and he's a master referee, and, you know, and people are complaining about him, but I'm watching him referee the Nationals and I'm thinking, he's still doing a good job, then, you know, and we've got 6 other masters there saying, no, Scott's doing a good job, then what do you do then? But there's nothing we can do, I should say, is because we're watching you perform to the ability that you should be at.
Okay.
Whereas if I'm not seeing you referee, we haven't seen you around, all you're refereeing is smaller tournaments, you're only staying in your province, and we're starting to get a lot of complaints, then we're going to retest you.
Okay, so that's what happens. They get retested.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna take basically the master's test, except the only difference between when you go for your masters, you have to referee at the Nationals, and you're evaluated, you're practical. But there's 3 parts to the master referee test, as every referee test in Canada is. You've got your written test, you've got your practical test, and you got your video test. Now, when you go for the first time that you're going, or until you achieve your masters, you have to referee at the Nationals, and you're evaluated on the open day, so we see how you work under pressure in the toughest classes. We make you referee the toughest classes. You're staying there the whole, basically refereeing all day. Your practical evaluation's taken on that. Then you still do your video test, your written test. Now, when you get re-evaluated, you're not actually doing that. We're going to test you basically the way we test our level 3s and everything. We just want to see how you whether you know the rules, whether you're stayed up on stuff. Because a lot of this happens when people are just refereeing small tournaments. They're losing their edge. They're not staying sharp as they should be because they're only refereeing. It's a lot easier refereeing your county exhibition and than you are the Nationals.
Okay, how do you answer the criticism that the guys that are testing for their master's level also want to pull at the Nationals? Why can they not test on day 1 of the Nationals, which is Masters Day? Because they say an awful lot of good pullers are masters now, and sometimes the masters classes are tougher than the open classes.
Well, you know, I looked at this, and I took a real serious look, because I did hear that complaint this year. So I looked at it, and I was watching The Masters Day, I was refereeing that day. There was only really one tough class to referee, and there was only about 4 or 5 guys in there that were hard to set up. You can't test a guy on that. Not for a Masters. I want to see you compete, or I want to see you referee match after match after match after match, different classes, looking after different guys, not just one class. And we just don't have that in the Masters. Yeah, you got some good Masters, but just because a guy's a good arm wrestler as a Master doesn't mean he's tough to set up.
Okay, and finally, again, like I said, it's been just a couple of weeks now until the Worlds in Kazakhstan, and you are heading to the Worlds in Kazakhstan. Expecting anything different this year? Big tournament, small tournament? What do you think is going on?
I think just because of where it is, nothing against Kazakhstan. I'm really looking forward to going there. But I think because it's expensive to get to, and I think it's going to hurt the numbers. I hope it doesn't, because I love seeing nationals or the Worlds keep getting bigger every year. But I have a feeling just because of where it is, it may hurt the numbers.
Well, it's certainly hurting the numbers coming out of North America.
Yeah, we're hurting bad coming out of Canada. The Americans have very few going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hate to see that, but, you know, the economy the way it is, people can't afford to go.
Okay, Rick, thanks for taking the time to answer my questions. And folks, if you have any other questions for Rick Pinkney, feel free to contact him through their website, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, NovaScotiaArmwrestling.com, or you can email me from armsportvideos.com. And I'm Scott McGinnis, and we're out. Okay, thanks to Rick Pinkney for taking the time to answer our questions. I hope that report clears up a few things. Now, recently, there was a thread on the Northeast message board regarding whether or not you should be posting using someone else's account. One post in particular caught my eye. The post was made by Dusty Hyde, and it read as follows. On a serious note, I don't believe it makes a difference if Timmy posts on Pete's account. This board just isn't what it used to be. What was once a place for knowledgeable arm wrestlers to have serious debates and exchange useful tips and techniques has become a tool for newcomers to create a name for themselves by creating drama on the board, so they don't have to put in the footwork of actually traveling to events to compete for people to know who they are. In my opinion, this board has so few actual pro arm wrestlers left that will even bother to post. People should be honored to hear from such an accomplished arm wrestler regardless of whose account he uses. Time would be better spent weeding out the ones that have no business posting instead of worrying about whose account a stand-up puller is posting on. And that's from Dusty Hyde. I thought this was a great post. Personally, I think you should have your own account to post on the board. I always like to know who I'm talking to and who is posting the message. The one thing I will say in Tim's defense is that he always identifies himself when he's posting. That being said, great post, Dusty. I, for one, thought you hit the mark perfectly on that one. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I agree with most of what Dusty had to say, I do believe there are some great young pullers and some great new promoters who have some fresh ideas and are doing some very interesting things. I really look forward to what is coming up next. Stay tuned to see what they've got in store for us. All right, then. Now on the program, it's time to have a look at the upcoming schedule. According to the message boards, here's what I found out is coming up for the next couple of months. First off, November 28th to December 4th, the 2011 WWF World Championships in Almaty, Kazakhstan. On December 3rd, Florida States from Jacksonville, Florida. Also on December 3rd, Music City Arm Wrestling Challenge from Nashville, Tennessee. On December 10th, Fat Boys Arm Wrestling Challenge from Ulysses, Minnesota. December 17th, First Annual Pull for Mike, a cash tournament for charity in Pittston, Pennsylvania. On to January 2012, January 21st, Battle of the Atlantic Championships in Porters Lake, Nova Scotia. Also on January 21st, the Illinois States in Nashville, Illinois. Another tournament on January 21st, Connecticut States from Bristol, Connecticut. And finally, on January 21st, Deep South Pulling Wars 4 from Winter Haven, Florida. And the last tournament we have listed for January, on January 28th, 2012, the Central Ontario Championships from Peterborough, Ontario. I will be in attendance for that one. I'm looking forward to it. For more events on the schedule, please check out the following websites: NovaScotiaArmWrestling.com, theNortheastBoard.com, the Ontario Arm Wrestling Board, and the Canadian Arm Wrestling message board, worldofarmwrestling.com, and armwrestling24h.com. And that's what's happening right now. Before I go, I just want to thank all the video contributors who have supplied us with countless hours of video footage from the 80s, 90s, and into the new millennium. Armsport Videos and myself are greatly appreciative of all your invaluable contributions. As of right now, we have posted over 380 hours of arm wrestling videos from 1986 right up until 2011, and they're all free. If there's something you feel that you think we need to know, or a particular topic we should be covering, drop us a line at scottmcguinness@hfx.eastlink.ca. That's it for our first episode. Wow. Can't believe I actually got through it. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you the next time. I'm Scott McGuinness, and we're at it.